listening to a sermon, we're listening to the Word of God, but when we are having a conversation about the Word of God, we listen to the Word of God. So I just want you to change a bit about that, and you'll be able to benefit so much from the conversation I'm going to have with these friends. This is Staying the Course, a talk show that is organized and empowered by Christ for the Nations Ministries, and I'm your host. I'm called Muvunyi, and tonight I'm joined by my good friends, and we're going to be talking about building friendships again. And yeah, these gentlemen are two gentlemen that you would want to talk to if you want to learn about building friendships. So before going any further, let me first allow them to introduce themselves. I'll start from the author of Beyond Walls, who I have had here twice. I hope some of you remember him, but for those of you who might have just joined tonight and have never seen him before, we'll give him a chance to tell you who he is.
Right. Thank you so much, my dear friend Vidhar. My name is Enoch. I'm not stranger to this show. I'm so honored to be back again, and I believe we'll have a good conversation. I write in my free time, and I've authored so far 2 books. I'm writing 3 more. When I'm not writing, I'm serving in other spaces, in Cornerstone as a communications person, and also in a church as a leadership pastor. Which is, yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Our viewers know Beyond Walls as your first book. What's the other book, and when are we going to have a conversation about it too?
Oh yes, I've authored Beyond Walls, which is common in Rwanda. I think most people know me for Beyond Walls, but we've also written another one around having a personal retreat. That is a conversation indeed, like you said, we need to have, because in our part of the world, not many take time off to reflect. So in that book, I help people take time off to reflect.
Wow. I can't wait to have a conversation and get our viewers to know more about having personal retreats. Last time when we were talking about it, you told me how it's a principle that has actually worked over so many centuries, actually millenniums. So we'll have a chance to look at that. We're joined with another big friend, a great friend to me, since I think 2015. And a friend to Enoch too. A lot of our viewers know him, not from the show, but they know him from different settings. But maybe some of you do not, and we'll give him a chance to greet you and to also tell you about himself.
Hello everyone, my name is Jesse, and Shyaka J, and I'm pleased to be here. Very passionate about leadership and people development, which is the industry I'm in, uplifting people towards the potential they have, because each and everyone has a potential and it just needs to be ignited, and specifically even empowering young people, youth. I love serving youth because there is always greatness in the stage of being a youth that can really transform or change a community or a society at large. And with that, outside, I serve a company called Africa Leadership Collective, still on the course of leadership, onto igniting leaders, different leaders in companies and organizations. And we do that in a way of uplifting people to realize their potentials, to also ignite them to have to ignite the values they have. So we deal with value-based leaders, and we also partner with people who do the same, like the Maxwell Foundation, and also the Global Leadership Network that does the Global Leadership Summits. And I'm glad to be here. Can't wait to hear what you're going to be talking about today.
When I said most of our viewers might know you, it was because of the organization you used to serve, Youth Impact Mission. I've had a few members of Youth Impact Mission here. I have had Frank, the singer. I've had Mukristo Eric.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm excluding Enoch and others, but I actually later found out that some people from Youth Impact Mission follow us, so I'm sure they are glad to see you on the screen, and I'm sure they are excited because those who have met you, they know that you can speak life to people.
Yeah.
And it's such a great joy for me to have you here, man.
Me too.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're talking about friendships today. And let me ask this. I'll start from Mr. Enoch. Why do friendships matter?
Wow. Friendships matter. One of the realizations for me, come to realize is that when you are not in friendship, you are in poverty. Or a lack of friendship is a form of poverty. And now you hunt people every which way, every side. That's why they matter. When you are in poverty, we say you are lacking. And so friendships really do matter because many things would happen on account of friendships. Some people entered into their destinies because of who they met and connected with. When we don't take care of relationships or friendships, a lot of stuff go wrong at an individual level, but also collectively in a community. When there is a poverty in friendships, it affects many places. So I feel like, again, compared to what we're going to be talking today, I feel like friendships matter. Friendships matter. Relationships matter. They are basis for production. You know, when I wouldn't be here if my mom and dad didn't meet. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're just joining us even right now and you had a debate on whether it is better to be lonely than to be in connection with others, I want you to sit and listen to this conversation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shyaka, I will ask the same question. Why do you think friendships matter?
Yeah, friendships matter because it's through friendships that we expand, we learn, we grow, and it's very difficult for one to be lonely and they progress in whatever they are doing. So it's through friendship that we are here on this on this program now. Why? Because someone knows someone that will always have what you don't have. But it's us, friendship now helps you to know which person has what I don't have. And they matter because either, whether it's growing you or destroying you, you'll find that it's still friendship that can matter. And that's why you find that when you have a good relationship with people that you call friends, it helps you to walk a journey that you couldn't walk by yourself. The accountability matters. When you're not well, most of the times you need someone who can really be there for you. And reasons today why we have actually problems like depression and all of that is because certain people just go out of not having people, and actually knowing people it doesn't guarantee that they're your friends. So friendship also is built. So having to have an intentional relationship with people, that's the friendship. And today, when you're working together, you think you're friends, you're just colleagues when you're studying together. Because if you just calculate and ask yourself, from primary, for example, how many people do you still have in your life that you're still walking that journey? So friendship is it matters most because it helps you to expand, it helps you to grow, it helps you to have a community, because it's through friendships that you have a community. It's through friendships that probably what you're not strengthened in, you can be strengthened. For example, if your faith is weak, when you have a friend, it helps you to grow well. So I really believe that friendship itself matters. Yeah, I think if the dictionary would allow, would have said friendship, and you hear just the word matter.
Wow. Yeah. Let me tell our viewers how this conversation came about. I had a conversation with some other 3 friends last week, and we were talking about friendships. And I wanted us to talk about friendships because I could have chosen the word relationships. Relationships means a lot of things. If you meet someone just once and you never meet them again, and you meet them maybe once again, you will say, I know this person, and you have already a relationship. That's called acquaintances. I have a relationship with Miles Monroe. I don't know him, I have never met him. But because somehow I'm connected to him, that's already a relationship. Yeah. But friendship is different. Friendship is when you are both engaged in it. And it was interesting for me to start talking about it because you realize that every kind of relationship requires friendship if it's going to become a good relationship. Somebody will say, my siblings are my siblings, they're not my friends. My friends are other people that are not related to me. But that's not true. If your sibling is not your friend, then there's a serious problem with your sibling relationship. Someone will say, no, this is not my friend, he's my father. It's true. You have that relationship of a father-son relationship. But if it lacks friendship, it's a very, very big problem. The father-son relationship is not going to work. So the couples too, you want to be friends with your wife, you want to be friends with your husband, you want to be friends with the people that actually matter to you. And ignoring that I ate from the same food of the principles we studied at Cornerstone, when Jess was speaking, he mentioned something of intentional friendships. That's where I want us to go to. And to ask you guys to help us, viewers who might not have interacted with Cornerstone at all, or who might have, but it's been such a long time. There's something that you people call intentional friendship. Or I think, if I remember well, they used to call it covenant relationships or friendships. And I wanted, because I'm taking this from what you just said of why relationships matter. And I think relationships could do much more for us if we are being intentional about it. But I think the lack of being intentional about friendships, we end up not benefiting from them as we ought to benefit from them. So I just had said that I was going to tell these people how this conversation came about. After the conversation, I was chatting with Enock, who's my friend, who we chat every now and then, and we have talked about so many projects. You guys expect some 7 Habits of Highly Effective People talk show sometime soon. And he just, texted me, and we started chatting, and we talked about how how Enock, you and some other 2 friends that weren't able to make it tonight, how it would be awesome for us to talk about building friendships, because you have such a very close relationship with this group. And I know it to be intentional friendship because I've observed you for a long time. You're all my friends, but I wouldn't say that I am as close to you as you 4 are close. And when we talked about it, what came in my head was, I think it's wrong for us not to have spoken about relationships, but just talk about friendships. And now not talk about the intentionality behind friendships, because I think what would differentiate relationships from friendships is the intention that is put behind friendships. So that's where I want to go, and I want to ask you this. So if you could first tell me, both of you, how you came to know each other and how you have applied this intentionality into friendships. I'm sure that from there you can feel free to share how our viewers could use the same way, or I don't know, give them a way to start building this principle of building friendships, but intentionally, not just flowing like water flows. So I'll start from Enock, and then we go to the same question. If you forget it, I'll remind you.
Well, how did we meet? I met Jesse in 2017 at an event, I think. But one of the ways to digress, and it is an important thing to think. One of the ways you build a friendship is to be interested in another party, and the people are connected with. It was not only on my part, it was on their part as well. They exhibited an interest in you. When I exhibit an interest in you, chances are higher you reciprocate. And so that is what I got from Jesse, the first meeting. And we connected as guys, and as you connect, conversations follow. But I want to set this, we became intentional at building this friendship. I can set between 2017 and now, I can count weeks I haven't seen Joseph physically on my one hand. Like, there's not a week I've not seen him from 2017 to now. That means there is an intentionality, and we don't live together. You get what I mean? So I feel like great friendships, I like the word, have to have intention to it for them to flourish. Yeah? And so for me, that is how our connection has grown. Like I told you, between 2017 and now, I can count only weeks on one hand. I haven't seen him physically.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how great friendships are built. You add intention to that, and whatever you add intention to, it will grow, it will flourish. So, but also, friendship is two-way. It is a seed you both water with the one you are growing the intention with. So if you consider it as a seed, it means both of us will have to water. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll get back to you,
Yeah.
because I want to touch something from your book that we talked about last time,
Yeah.
of your brother and the other guy who was a mechanic so I'll get back to you on that, because actually, so I wanted to ask you immediately, but I realized if we go into that, then
yes.
his view of how you met and what he remembers of that time might come after such a long time that it might not fit there. So, but you will allow me to keep switching and on and off. So that's how he remembers how you met. If you could also share, what was it like when you met him, and what has it been like? What has your journey been like so far?
Yeah, personally, as I said, we met in 2017, and one of the things I've realized that it's very difficult to connect to a friend without an involvement of another friend. And it's a blessing to have people who can connect you to people. And it might not be planned, but if through an event or a catch-up, you find someone has invited other friends like that, and then you get to connect. But seeing Enoch, I realized there's certain value in him, and the value he has is a value I lack. And most of the times people don't embrace the lack of what, the need of what they lack. Sometimes we defend of what we lack, so that we hide in a portrait of thinking that, no, why do I need this person? You see, something like that. But then I saw he has a lifestyle he's living, and I feel like it's a sense of growth. He yearns for growth. He has read books, and that exposure I lacked that time, and I needed, at least in that phase, to be exposed to that, and that's how we connected. And ever since there, my life has not been the same because of the relationship we have. And I know also there are other things that probably he has got from me or learned from me, but obviously, as I said, it's a seed that you have both to water. So the intentionality comes that every time there is an investment that you make, and mostly people give up along the way. Like, you started a friendship, and then by the time for the first phase, it's good and all of that, and then a phase comes and then it starts going casual. But what I can say is that the journey I've walked created like different things we need to do together. We started a group of young men that we can be meeting every Sunday, and we are still close till now. And yeah, things went on developing. Now, even now, the projects we plan to do together. Why? Because always the intentionality comes on why are you friends? And you make known of the intentions. Because if we just know each other, it's going to end up like that. But if you start connecting and say we need to grow, we need to do this, it gives us a pace or an opportunity for us to be growing. So, but as is mentioned, if it's not a message, if it's not a call, we finally have to meet. And it's good because when you build relationships like that or friendships like that, there is a sense of welcome. Like if I call him and I ask him, are you at home? Yes. I don't have to make a program like I will visit you. Okay, there are those specific ones. Yeah, you know, you don't have to introduce someone as the way you want. But to reach to that certain level. Why? Because it's nowhere that a man can fall and pick up themselves. There is always a man to pick you up. But if you're still also on board and up, still you're still strong together. So it doesn't matter that you get someone who will pick you up when you fall, when you even don't have that person you're working with before you fall. So that's how I and Enoch met, and it now made me connect to his other friends, to his family. Now that's how the scope works. So the moment you enter into a friendship with someone, it opens doors to the people that you might not know. Yeah.
Wow. And you get benefit more than you could have.
Yes.
Enoch, I want to ask you that question because of the conversation I think we had off camera some time back. Remember last time when we talked about that particular example I was telling you of your brother learning from one of the neighbors was doing something, and you mentioned something, if I remember well. You said that you become by imitating. If you don't see what you want to become, you don't become that. But I think later on when we are off the camera, or probably prior to that, you talked about the need for men to be friends, to have friends. And earlier when you were telling me how you met this guy, you said, we met as guys, and from there I said, it's good. So there's so many things that you told me about the importance of men, the need for men to have community, to have friends. Something you told me about off the camera that I want our viewers to actually benefit from. Why is it important for men to have a group of other men that they fellowship? Or maybe if we don't use the word fellowship, which is very churchy, why is it important for men to have a community? Why is it important for men to have friends?
Well, I think it was last week, in the answer, I read an article in the New Times, not the New Times, the Times in UK. And in that article, the headline was something I was trying to look it up, but I couldn't remember where I put the note. But it was something like, when men are lonely, they struggle, and the greatest epidemic men face is loneliness. And you see, even in scripture, when men were alone, there is a beautiful story in the Bible. Again, I can only paraphrase the story. This man was sick for 38 years, alone at the pool. And when Jesus came to him, he asked him, what should I do for you? And that guy said, I have no man to drop me in the pool when it stands up. Now, when we flip that story, many people are going through hard things for many years for lack of another to help them. This man was struggling with that disease. The answer was close to him, but there was no person to drop him in the pool. And that's pretty much many guys are facing. You find a guy struggling with a thing, and the thing has been there for years. But the way out of that thing is another man, another friend. So friendships are advantageous connections to us. again, I don't want to go off the question, but if I remember so well, even between us, there is no way I would be having this conversation if I didn't meet you. If I didn't meet Jesse, there is no way.
Yeah.
It takes a connection for certain things to happen. Naturally speaking or speaking. But that story you wrote out is, even for us, many of the things I've learned personally, I copied from my father, from my spiritual father, from my friendships. All these guys I walk a journey with, I have learned a thing that I wouldn't have learned on my own. Alternatively, I would have learned on my own, but it would have taken me a longer time. So the beauty of friendships is it subsidizes your learning. You don't have to take 20 years to know what has taken me 20 years. Like, Jesse knows something about relationships. Maybe it has taken him 10 years. For me to be his friend and take 10 years to learn what he knows, I'm a fool.
Yeah.
Rather, when I enter a friendship with Jesse, in a moment, maybe over a cup of tea, I can pick things that he has taken him 10 years to learn. Now, that is the beauty of friendships. You pick things, beautiful things. The person you are picking them from has taken them almost a lifetime. Yet for you, it takes you a moment to pick such things. Now, for me, that is the beauty of friendships.
Yeah. I want still to get to particularly men.
Yes. Oh, in particularly men, I think also for men there is an ego thing. We want to learn the hard way. We want to feel like everything I learn, it should be from me. But no one learns from them. My mentor says, if you know you have arrived where you're going, if you want to get where you're going and you're not learning from someone, you have arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Interesting.
But for me to get where I'm going, I have to look at different people and follow them. Even Jesus, I think it is Paul, follow me as I follow Christ. Now men, the problem with us men with an ego, we do not want to follow, to learn from other people or to be in connection. And that's why loneliness is an epidemic, mostly for men.
That's true.
And when we don't correct it right now, we pay for it. In depression, a lot of suicides, when even in Rwanda, if you went and opened the statistics, you would find that it is more men than women who commit suicide. But it is connected to a root called loneliness. And so men need to be in friendships with other men. The thing, most of the jobs I've had, it was because someone connected me. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And there are many men, for example, out here who are lacking employment, but they are lonely. They have no friend. When will you be employed? You have to wake up, go connect with people. Many opportunities are with people. They are not in the sky or on internet. Yes, they are, but even the ones on internet, they are with people.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know if I've answered.
And once you get there,
well.
you're going to work with people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, with men, even because we are people of faith, I am a person of faith, I always wonder, and For the longest time I've wondered, why did Jesus, our Lord, why is it in his ministry? Why did he hold the 12 apostles? Why were they all men? That they find an answer to that question. Maybe it will answer this conversation, this question we are having. If the Lord, the God that made out the universe, in trying to figure out the solution to all humanity, needed men, there was something we should think about.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Goodness.
Yes.
That's a very, very good assignment to work on.
Yeah. Why? Why would God? Because Jesus is the Savior of the world, definitely. But in his work to save the world, when his first assignment was to call 12 men. Yes, there were women disciples, but the pillars were 12 and they were all men. Why?
Yeah.
In today's world, they would call him funny names. But he called men. I have this conviction that when we are to fix many of the problems in society, it will take healthy men to fix those problems. Yeah.
I'm going to have you on another conversation about men. Just when you were speaking about how you met Enoch, you talked about, you said particularly I saw value in him. I think this is one of the challenges we have with friendships, because the Bible will tell you, do not be deceived, bad company corrupts character. And you will be like, okay, instead of going and connecting with a friend, and he treats me like the other one, the previous one treated me, I would rather be on my own. I don't want to, others would be like, but what would be even the values that I look for before I make someone a friend? I don't want just to have some people because they say they are believers, or I don't want to have someone just because we come from the same place, or just because we go the same school or the same church or same anything. I want to have trusted friends. And of course the intentionality that we're talking about friends also comes down to values. You can put intention in being friends with someone, but if the values are not matching, it becomes a very big challenge. So since you saw a value in Enoch, I will ask this question in two ways. One is a very personal way, another one is general. So first, as J. Shyaka, Rayson, what do you look for in friends? And generally speaking, if you were to tell our viewers, what should we look for in friendships? What should be the values that we look for in our friends?
Yeah, I will start with what you talked about when it comes to nowadays people look for friends, and then they, when they hurt them from the past relationships, they decide to quit. But always there is an agreement for friendship, as there's a scripture in Amos 3:3 says that can two walk together unless they agree. And with agreement means that there are certain things that might not go well, but we have to keep it up. Seasons change, but our intentions should continue. So personally, when I'm looking for friendship, it's based on values. Does this person have values? Are they people of integrity? Are they people who are reliable? Are they people who have the sense of humility? And also, after values, are they people who are seeking to grow? Because for me, growth, development are very essential. Because when a friendship is not about growing, it's going to stunt you there, and time goes. By the time you open your eyes to see, it's too late, and none of the friends that you have are going to help you move out of that box. And today, there is an issue that people become friends because of a moment, like we have to go out, hang out, and you find it's a hangout friendship because you're going to meet. But the time you don't have the resources to hang out, meaning the relationship is going to be affected.
Yeah.
And no one is going to call you, by the way, to find out if that thing. They'll just ask, where are you? That's the question. But knowing which relationship we're going to. And today it's more even difficult because it's on social media, like the relationship. You find that people connect for business, they just connect on social media and all of that, and they tend to think, because I've seen your post on social media, I know you're well. You see that? But for example, if you've probably got an accident and in a few days you post a picture when your hand is wrapped, by the time it will take someone to know that you got an accident, but also it will take a friend now to find out what happened, what went wrong. You see, that's now the thing. Some people will just comment and then leave it out. So there is that fear. So for me, those are the key things I look into. And also, despite also the fact, also what pulls me is how is your spiritual life? Are you really having a relationship with God? That doesn't mean that other people who are not having that relationship, they have certain values also I can be following, and then also to me to become a blessing to them. But also it's not only to the people you're becoming friends to, also start with you individually. Do you have what you're looking for in other people? And what also do you come with? And because you will never discern a spiritual person to relate to if also your spiritual level is low. So it will take you to build a certain level of what you're looking for in others.
Wow.
And that's a good one. That you'll be building each other together. And I like the fact that it's called building friendships. So building is a process. You need to tilt land, but you have to have a vision for it. You need to prepare the land, you need to have constructing materials, and that all construction happens in a place that you only have a plan. People know the plan, but it's a construction that happens, and it has everything. It has mess, and they break the bricks, they dropped cement and all of that. So is relationship. There are things that you're going to grow within that, and then it comes out. So for me, when to the general now, probably look for is that you need always to see, how am I going to benefit this person, and how are they going to benefit me in terms of growing them in terms of value. Because it's very sad for one to see only the value you have and then they don't give you value. That means that is not a relationship. That's being a parasite. You're parasiting someone. But the moment I am bringing this, it's going to help this person to grow more and more. And you can see how, for example, if you look at the relationship Jonathan and David had, these are people who are from different backgrounds. One is from the palace, another one is just a young man
looking after
sheep. But they connect because there is something they had in common that they feel that they can reach with it far. Despite the fact that the father of Jonathan was hunting David, it didn't damage the relationship. And that's now how to build relationship, to the extent that whatever might happen, we are intentionally to this. And guess who told David that my father is looking for you? You need to escape. It's because of friendship. And yeah, after just leaving the basic of knowing the values and all of that, also knowing that it's investment. You need to invest in the relationship. You need to invest time. You need to invest finance. You need really to be there. And today people tend not to have time, because they think, if I don't have resources, I don't have time. But you might not have the resources, but you have time. You can call someone, give them a few minutes to, to listen to them, giving them a listening ear, being reliable to them. And those are the key small aspects that build. But today's generation, it's fading away. We attended one of the, the parents to one of our friends. They had an anniversary, a wedding anniversary of 30 years, and they had many people around there. I think 300 people. And these people, most of them were old generation, the young generation were few. But these people are the ones they studied with primary. These people are the ones that they grew up in the same village. And this showed me actually that the older generation knew what was about intentionality when even they didn't have a lot. And today we have a world that has changed, meaning that if we don't take and grab that opportunity to keep a relationship, it means that if you have, for example, you have to travel for work and you have to spend like two weeks abroad, who can you leave your friends with? Who can you leave rather your children with? And if you don't have such a person you can think about and like, I can leave my children with this person and I know for 2 weeks I'm safe, then you have to work on your friendships. If you don't trust the people, because sometimes we tend to think, I have people in my life, but if you don't see that I can leave these people with, I can leave my kids with these people because I know they can parent the way I'm going to parent or the way I parent, then that's a problem. So friendships are very important, and that's why we need to build them. And when you're looking for things, it's also seeing yourself in that view and say, am I able also to be trusted to be left with children if I'm a friend to this person? So all of that can be also put together, but still comes with the men, as Enock was saying. It's very, very hard for a man to embrace that they need help, and that has killed many men, that has damaged them not to be that good. And if you look in history, men who have done probably ruthless things, is because they didn't have men who can challenge them to do better. But coming back, but we have seen also men who had men that have done a lot. Starting from our nation here, you can see the cause of liberation is because some men stood and visioned to do what? To liberate the country. And despite their age, as long as they had that, and that goal and zeal didn't leave them. So building that needs that a man to know, actually I need a man in my life, I need a friend in my life to push me. So one of I have a mentor, two mentors actually. One, they have spent, he has a group of friends, they meet every Thursday morning for breakfast, and they meet for the last 15 years. Now, the last 15 years, they didn't have children, they didn't have wives, and today they have kids, meaning that relationship is going to be, and you can see the progress, you can trace. Yeah, so that intentionality is done that brings impact. Yeah.
Man, I'm yet to have one of them tell us about how you meet each other for 15 years plus. But before I go back to Enock, and I want to ask him something interesting, but before I go there, I wanted to ask you this too. I could have waited and asked it when the other sisters are here, but I will give myself a chance to ask this even though they are not here. How do you build friendships differently with men and with women? You're friends with Enock, and you're friends with the other two friends that couldn't make it. I am refraining myself from mentioning their names since they're not here. Once we have them on the show, we'll let the viewers know that it's them that we are mentioning. So, as a guy, Christian man is trying to do right things, because we are all going to need friends. We actually need friends. He mentioned how no one can be born without sort of a friendship happening between two people. But of course, he writes books, you work in leadership institution. None of that is possible without working with others. Everything, literally everything. We need friends, man. We need friends in every aspect of life. And we need both friends. We need both men and women. But I think it's sometimes complicated to have relationships with the other gender. Because sometimes people don't know what are the boundaries, how far should this go, how far should it not go, and because we never talk about this openly, it becomes something as if it is a taboo or anything, yet it's something very simple. Christ had friendships with men and with women, and we don't see any problem, so it should be the same with us. And I happen to have someone in the studios who I know, because I observe this, who's got guy friends and who's got lady friends, and I wanted to know, how do you do this? How do you build differently your friendships with men and with women?
Well, the thing is not all about actually them. It all starts with me, you. What are your set of values? And also it comes to what are your intentions? and also what are you bringing still, and what do you expect to get from the friendship? Because sometimes, whenever, even from a fellow guy, you don't instantly connect if nothing has triggered the connection. So everyone will be on the defensive side. They'll be like, why is this person coming into my life? Why are they interested most to come into my life? And for the ladies, you need to be intentional and let them know your intentions. Because sometimes when they are in a doubt, then it becomes a problem. And also after making known the intentions, live according to the intentions. Because they will always remember. People. Yeah, don't confuse. Are you here for friendship? Are you here for furthering the friendship? So make it known. And that's what builds more to know. Because if you're in that dilemma of just being friends, they will always wonder, why is this person in my life? And then, because for them they hate to be confused, they will not take it by probably the way you take it. So it's you to push it further. And also knowing boundaries. In relationships, all relationships have boundaries. Know the boundaries. Does this person want me to call them at this time? Which is the best time for them to talk? What are they doing? How can I approach them? How? Because no, those things can help you. Because you can't build a relationship with a person who is going to call you to go to a club when you don't go for clubbing. So you know the things that you really build around the relationship. But all this starts with you. Your intentionality, your way of living, your character. And actually, for them, most of the times, actually, it's not you looking for even people. It's you building yourself to attract people. Because it just takes a flower to attract the bees. So, but you want the bees, you want, before you even plant the garden. So, but even if you don't get the bees to come so that you can get honey, at least you planted a beautiful garden, you see. You've grown yourself to be that kind of person. So I believe that it only starts from that phase of you knowing who you are, because when you know already who you are, you attract the version of who you are, or even a difference of what makes you better. But most of the times you don't know who you are, then you go to connect with everyone. You will end up people knowing you that you've come for being a parasite. So if you just know someone, know how you do, like learn also certain skills of building friendships. That's one of the things. Watch this conversation. Yeah, watch this conversation. Or even read books that can talk about, because building now, you can want to become a friend, but there are skills you need to have to make sure that you make it more effective. So time comes, it's going to shift, levels are going to shift, you're going to shift time of working with your friend, but how are you going to customize all of that and still keep the connection? So make known of your intentions and let them be good. People always want good, and recognize the value in them and make known. Always certain times it needs you to remind them why in their lives, because when we read different signposts, they remind us of what they are advertising. So you need also to keep reminding people of what. Yeah, but I know sometimes it's not easy, but it takes practice. It even happens naturally sometimes, but staying on the course of knowing, why am I in this relationship? Why am I connecting myself to this person? And let them be secure, because everyone wants security. If I know that we are friends, because I'll trust you with all I got. I'll even introduce you to fellow people. But if you have a friend who is not introducing you to their friends, the rest you know.
Thank you. And I think I was just realizing how you are a man of great friendships. I remember 2015 when I was talking about when we met up. You had like, I think 4 friends, of whom I checked and realized you're still friends with them. Yeah. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, sure.
So anyways, the key to building friendships with the other gender, be very clear about your intentions. From Jess. We're coming to the conclusion of our conversation, but I wouldn't let us go before we talk about this. Enoch, when he was talking about, I don't remember the question he was answering, but he gave an example of how you look for people who are going where you're going. So like, if you're going somewhere, look for people who are going there and go together. It's something you mentioned. And for me, when I'm trying to picture it, I'm seeing myself in Nyabugogo, for the first time ever, and I want to go to Musanze, and I don't know which way goes there. So if you hear someone saying he or she's going to Musanze, you'll be like, okay, let me follow this person, and we'll go together. And I think also the Bible, is the Bible? I think it's a common saying that birds of the same feathers flock together. Sometimes I reject the idea that it could be just the values that makes people stick together. I think it's also the direction, the purpose, because there are so many people who are loyal in this world. There are so many people who have the same values, but you find yourself that almost you have people, of course, those who you are in the same proximity, but also whom you have some sort of same direction, same sense of calling. It kind of binds people together. But in fact, that's what I wanted us to talk about as we come to the conclusion. How does one's, I don't know, is it a chance? It's not entirely a chance. But how does a person's knowing of their calling, of their purpose, of their sense of direction help shape their friendships?
Good question indeed. I feel like when I know what I want to do, it makes it easier for me to know who to look for. Why? Because most of the things we are passionate about or the things we want to do, they won't be original with us. Someone else somewhere has done them.
That's true.
So I feel like the moment I figure out what my purpose is or what I was born to solve, then it reduces my work on who to look for. And so, because if I want, for example, to serve the men, many people for centuries have been doing that. So it will give me a way to go after such people. Anything in my heart and yours has been done somewhere. It may not be done now, but maybe a century ago. That is why now even reading becomes important. You look for people who have done the thing in your heart, because it is not original. You are not going to be the first to do what you are doing. I feel like the moment I know the convictions in my heart, it makes it easier for me to look for the people I will pursue to help me go another level.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered.
Yeah, you did. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I think it was him who said you have to work on yourself to be able to attract people that have the things that you're looking for. You have to build those things in yourself. And I think it's a common saying in the Christian circles that the deep calls the deep.
Yeah.
So having strong convictions about what you're doing. So as we conclude, from Jess then to Enoch, 1 or 2, 3 things that you want to say about building friendships that you think we missed out, that we didn't ask about you, but you think a viewer should take home, should know about building friendships?
Yeah. As the word friendship, as the last word sheep, it doesn't need for one to see everything, because when a ship is on an ocean or a sea, the captain who is navigating the ship and taking the course of it, he knows where he's going. However much is not seen, because when you're in the waters, it's always flat. So he keeps on the direction of where he's going. So a friendship, you don't have to see everything as long as you know where you're going. Waves might come, the sun might be too much, the cold can come, but staying on the course and never leaving alone, because one of the greatest lonely places is the graveyard. Why? Because there is death, there is nothing living. So when someone is lonely, they are nearly in a place of death. So the moment you lack people around your life, you're calling yourself nearly to dying. But when you have people in your life, it calls more of life. That's why even the Bible says that it was not good for man to be alone. Okay, in this verse, people might go further to interpret it in a different way of showing how man needed a woman. Mm-hmm. But also, for me, I stuck on, it was not good for man. So before you find a wife, do you have people around your life at least who are making you not at least be alone before you leave your father and mother's house to look for a wife? And secondly is that friendship is not for today only. Friendship is for even when you're not around, because there are voices to speak for you in your absence, meaning your absence should be speaking more than your presence. Yeah. That's why I know of the fact that in my absence, when he's there, he'll speak good about me. He will say what the real me, like in my absence, without me having to explain it. So that's also a powerful thing about friendships. And making it intentional, living to the values of it, and then hold hands together, pray together, and, you know, build that community that can make a change, because it only takes a small group of people who have intentionally built themselves towards what they want, and nothing is impossible to them. Yeah, I think that's it. And I'm looking forward to making more friends.
I'm looking forward to making more friends too. And you've already said that you got to introduce me to your friends.
Yeah.
And something that we didn't talk about, that maybe I didn't ask, but you believe is so important to building friendships that our viewers would be missing out if you didn't mention that.
There are things I felt like I needed to talk about, but of course, with time being limited. But let me set this.
You still have like 3 minutes. So.
Okay. Let me just recap on this. I talked about it. A large part of what poverty is a lack of friendships. So let that sink in. But secondly, there is a way to build great friendships, because that is the topic of our discussion. Now, the way to build great friendships has a starting point, and that is, I think the scripture puts it this way, that be friendly, and I'm paraphrasing, to the end that others will be friends with you. Make yourself friendly. There is a posture you need to become a friend.
Yeah.
And you, when you ask Jesse about friendship with the opposite sex, there is a posture, there is a state of mind, there is a mindset. Like, you have to be honorable. What is honorable? What is honorable? When you are honorable, you won't treat the other person in a bad way. But these are the 3 things I want to leave, which have worked for us in our friendships for the most part. Number 1 is that it is a thing I call consistency, positivity, and vulnerability.
Consistency, positivity,
and vulnerability. Mm-hmm. When you add these 3 to any connection, it will stand. There are things I do with Jesse almost weekly. And it is those things that make our bond stick consistent. And I would ask a question for our viewers. What are you doing consistently with the person you want to be friends with? Create it. Find a thing. We do a sports thing. We go to Nyanungu in Italy, you know, and we walk, we ride bikes once a week. We are adding value to our bodies, but also building a connection. And we have been doing this for a number of years. Monday meetings. Every Monday after work we meet over a cup of coffee. We pray with each other. We talk to each other. We lift each other. That is consistency. But the first one, the one on the baseline is positivity. If you are bad energy, I don't want to be in your company. So, if I want to be your friend, I have to bring positive vibe. And then you would want to be in my circle. Vulnerability. It takes a time factor for me to reveal who I am. So if I'm not consistent, I may not get to a place of vulnerability. I may never open myself up to a stranger. It is hard to open yourself up to a stranger. So great friendships, as I conclude, they are built on these three. Be positive, be friendly, smile to other people. Be interested in them, not their name. You get what I mean? No. Find things you do together consistently, and finally become vulnerable. Vulnerability is a big thing. It may need another talk show. But yeah, for me that is my parting shot, that find things you are consistent in, bring a positive vibe to other people. What you said, have something you bring to that table. You can't be a parasite who always want to pick and not to bring. And then as you do stuff, be consistent. I mean, be vulnerable. Yeah.
I think from the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, the other guy said you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
the more you're positive, the more you're bringing something of good value to people, the more they come to you. And I think he also said something like, if you want to build friendships, be interested in people. Don't wait for people to be interested in you.
Actually, it's a whole scripture, that thing. I tried to look it up, but I don't. But it is, if I sense that you are not interested in me, why would I be interested in you?
I know. Yeah.
There is no basis.
Yeah.
So I might as well look for someone else interested in me. And then maybe the final thought is anything. If I look at friendships as a seed, then it means for that seed to grow, there is a work element on my part. No seed that was left to itself blossomed. Great seeds that will be fruitful are taken care of. They are sowed, they are watered. So I guess if we have that mind that a friendship is a seed or that I need to plant and then water, so there is a work element on my part. I have to do. If we both had that mind, imagine the kind of friendships we'll have.
Yeah.
There will be intentionality to that friendship. There will be positivity. Why I'm watering this thing. So thank you again.
And let me thank you both for joining me tonight and for sharing great insights. It's always a joy to have you, Enoch. And you know I've been looking for you to have you, so it's a joy to finally have you. And I'm looking forward to more conversations with you. As I told my viewers, we will be having 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm looking forward to doing that series this year. I'm also looking forward to having you guys when we talk about the dignity of masculinity. We'll also be having the dignity of femininity. So we're going to have so many conversations, so many interesting conversations. This year is going to be a great year. So thank you so very much for coming, and I hope you have the great start of the year.
Indeed.
Yeah. Wishing you a very happy new year of 2026. And to our viewers, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is Staying the Course, empowered by Christ for the Nations Ministries. And Vitali Muvunyi, I am your host. See you next Sunday. God bless you.